been a couple of weeks. Let me get myself set up here. There we go. So, here we are, finally. I will gladly get to work here. I apologize for my clearing of my throat and so forth. I guess I should have a little commentary, even though nobody's here at the moment. I'm a little early today. So I've been a little under the weather the last couple of weeks. And, you know, that happens. Unfortunately, I went to a funeral 2 weeks ago, this Friday 2 weeks ago, and I think funerals are, well, they're the worst part of of things that we have to deal with. They also cause a lot of sickness, I believe. So many times I've been to funeral. I didn't go to a funeral. I went to a wake. So lots of people, lots of shaking hands, lots of hugging, and so I got sick. It is what it is, right? So here we are, trying to make things better. Let me position things real quick here. I want this to be over here a little bit. Yeah, can I put that there? It'd be great if I could put that there, and then I can put this right here. All right, I know you can't see what I'm doing, but that's okay. All right, I've got some colors to mix. Let me show you where we are. So I've done some work, and hopefully you can see this okay. Let me move this out of the way so you can kind of see where we're at. Move this photograph back here. All right, so that's where we are. And you can see most of the railway is done except for this one in the very, very front. It's mostly like this grayish color, so that's my job today, is to see how much of that I can knock out. Whatever I can't do today, I will get done this weekend. So that's where we're at. We are very close to the final stages of this gravel railway section, which is great. And obviously there's a lot more to do up here, so I've got some work to do. I'm happy to be at it again. So yeah, let's get started. I've got some colors to mix here, and I put this back so I can see what I'm working on. And let's get going here. Let me get to mixing some colors. So this is mostly grays that we're looking at here. Let me go back just for a second. So if I'm looking at this, we've got this obviously a lighter gray on top, and one or two different values of gray on the side, along with these nuts that are bolts or nuts, and a little bit more, some bolts and nuts down here on this end. So we want to be cognizant of the general value. I see some like scratching on the rail here and maybe here, some little white spots. That's detail work for later on. So I'm looking at I'm going to start with the top of the rail, and I'm looking at that color. So it's mostly gray, but as I look at it, there might be a hint of red or purple in there. So I didn't put any blue on my palette. We'll have to see if I need that or not. I'll evaluate as I go. So if you're just joining me, welcome. Good to see you. I've been out for a couple of weeks. Out sick, and so I have not painted much lately. I've not painted at all lately. I feel a little badly about that, but it is what it is. So let's just start with some light gray and we'll see where that lands as far as values, and then I'll see if I need to add anything else. Who knows, it could just be gray. So no, it's not just gray, because as soon as I hold it up there, and I'm looking at that light gray line right there, as soon as I hold it up, I say, oh, that is not the color I'm looking for. There's definitely some red in there, possibly some blue. I'm going to start with just a hint of red, and we'll go from there. So a tiny little bit of reds. I barely put any on my, I don't know if you can even see, barely put any on there, because it just takes over your color sometimes, and I'm only looking for a hint of it anyways. Let's see what that looks like. Aha, that's a little closer. I kind of like that color. It's funny, just that little bit did so much. I'm gonna go with that for now. So let me I'm gonna get more than one color though. Let me get that one out. And let me do another color. So I'm going to do one of the side colors. So this is going to be another gray, except darker. And I'll need a little bit more of it too. More white. A lot more white. Boy. I just don't want to end up making the same color that I just did over there. That's my only. Right, that might be better right there. I feel like I need a new palette knife. When I go and I spread it out, I still have so much left on my knife here. I think I need a smaller one for this kind of work anyways, you know. All right, let's see where that lands on the side here. That's pretty good actually. And again, let's see, do I add a little bit of, I'm gonna add a little bit of black to it actually. Or do I add a little bit of brown to it? Because what we've got going on is the rocks here are essentially reflect the light, the light that's hitting the rocks is also bouncing back up. So I see maybe a hint of brown. I'm going to put a little bit of burnt sienna in there, just a hint. Let's see. And I think we're going to put a little bit more black too. All right, let's see where that is. That's better, much better. Yep, I'm into that color. We're going to go with those two colors. And that's it. So, let me get this rag over here. This rag is usually, I've got a couple rags over here that I tend to use to wipe off my palette knife with, because it tends to be more paint on the palette knife than anywhere else. All right. Let's get to work. Now, I'm using my, do I use my trusty 00? Or is that too small? Let me clean it off first. And then dry it off. And look at this here. So, I mean, it's really nice for small, right? For little areas. This is a little bit bigger than that. But I think it's, I don't know. Let me look at my other brushes here. I've got, I think I've got a 1 somewhere. This is my 1. see what a 1 looks like. So that's a double. Was that double O? Yeah, that's a double O. Do I have an O? 0? Here's a 0. It's funny, the 1, is this a mini? Yeah, this is a mini. That's why it looks smaller. The 0 looks bigger than the 1 because it's not a mini. Let's see them both. See what I like. Well, this is the 0. Clean that off. And the 0 looks like it needs a little bit of TLC. I don't know if that's going to be a good brush or not. See how much bigger that covers, right? I kind of like when it covers more like that. But that might be too much. Let me look at this 0. This is what they call a miniature, so the brush itself is shorter. I think I like that one. Yeah, I think let's try that one out. All right, let's get started here. So, as always, just clean that off one more time. A little bit of oil, right? And then I'm starting with this one right here. So let's grab that, make sure it's got enough oil on it. I don't want to have too much paint on my brush though, so I tend to wipe it off a little bit just so I can. All right, that looks like a good start. Let me get my maul stick, right? So if you don't have a maul stick, you can use any kind of stick. When I was in school, I used a curtain rod, a curved curtain rod, and that worked great. All right, let me move this over a little bit. Too much stuff in my way here. Put it down so I don't drop it. Too much stuff in my way. See, because I want to be like this. All right, let me switch my view here. All right, so let's get going. And change my glasses. So many things to get ready. Okay. All right, I'm actually not going to use my maul stick because I've got the easel itself. You may be like, he's like barely painting anything. Well, it's true. The hardest thing about this painting that I found is straight lines. I've never painted so many straight lines in my life. So I take my time with them. Breathe easy. Hopefully I'll have a couple friends show up and say hi. That'd be nice. I haven't seen people in a while. I had a couple people give me some well wishes while I was not feeling well. That was nice of them. You probably can't really see what I'm doing so much because it's so close to the first layer of paint that I put on here. But that's a good thing. Means I'm choosing my colors wisely. So right now I'm painting the top. I wonder if I can zoom in a little bit. I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it for you. All you can see is my hand at the moment. I'll just leave it. It is quiet for Friday. It's been pretty cold here. We've got a lot of snow on the ground. It hasn't been snowing recently though, so I am ready for spring though. Yep, I'm definitely ready for spring. Trying really hard not to get my head in the way. Head out of the way, dude. Alright, I don't think my head's in the way. Trying to figure out where to put my feet so I can stay balanced here. I don't really like to paint so close to the work like this, to the canvas, to the board, whatever you're using. But it's kind of a necessity for these straight lines. I like to be able to back up a little bit. So, is what it is. And you might be saying, well, your lines aren't that straight. Well, yeah, I know. Hey, who's this? Study comb. Pristine, thank you. Yeah, a lot of patience on this one. But you know, I have not seen your name before, so I wanted to say special thank you to you. Am I saying it right? Study comb? Anyways, my name's Jason. Nice to meet you. So glad you said hi. People don't often say hi. Oh, and I meant to say hi like that. People don't often say hi. So I appreciate you, man. Bruh. whatever people are saying these days. Got a lot of patience with this one. I'm getting there. I'm determined to finish it. And hopefully my big head isn't getting in the way too much. Really? Oh, no kidding. Did you change your study comb? I don't remember I don't remember the name. I apologize. That is I mean, it's been a while, I gotta say. So the steel bit. Yeah, I finished that one. Did you see that? Did you see the finished product of that one? I've got it right over here if you want to see it. It came out nice. This is more the type of work I want to be doing all the time, so I'm happy to be done with that one and move on. So I apologize. Oh my goodness. And I'll tell you, well, unless you're here often, I am likely to forget your name, but there's less of a chance of that now because I just embarrassed myself. So we'll hope for the best next time around. If I haven't completely ruined your outlook of me. Oh, Pokemon Project. I do slightly. Pokemon Project. Pokemon Project. I remember someone talking about Pokemon. Can you refresh my memory, please? I apologize again. I've been sick the last couple weeks, so and if you haven't been around since the can, you can't blame me too much. I hope you don't. I feel really bad though. I try so hard to remember people's names, and I fail at it so much. Oh, I can't see. Well, I'm glad to have you back. Regardless, I appreciate you coming to say hi. I'm not going to concern I'm doing the bottom half of this now, but of course the bottom half runs up against a darker color that I'm going to be painting next. So I don't need to be too exact on this. I just want to make sure that it's wide enough. It's really that top edge that needs to be good. And when I start painting the next line, that will also need to be decent. Oh, India. Yes, I totally remember India. So I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe you are the only person from India that I've spoken with. I've got a friend from New Jersey, one from Canada, one from Romania, and I definitely remember having conversations with you from India. And like I said, I believe you're the only person from India. So it's getting late there for you, right? It's got to be like, well, maybe not too late. It's like, what, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock now? I've noticed the people that I know from India tend to be, well, can you make a video on drawing shapes and perspectives? Shapes and perspectives, yeah, absolutely. And I remember, I might even do something for you right now. We can do an impromptu little lesson. How about that? Let me just finish this line. I took a perspective class in college. It was enlightening. And I'd never drawn anything so precise before, being that, precisely perspective, and when I say perspective, I mean using mathematical equations to determine exactly where each point was on the page. And that was it's a fun class. And the strange thing about it is that I really don't use it in my everyday practice. It's one of those good to knows, but like using algebra, I don't use algebra so much, but it helps me problem solve sometimes. All right. It's 11. Yeah, it's getting late. All right. Let me put this down for a minute. Take off my reading glasses. Shapes in perspective. Let me get a pad. Alright, so I got a big pad. Do I have some pencils over here? Yeah, I do. Alright, so let's carefully move this out of the way for now, for a moment, because I'm coming right back to it. Don't go away if you're watching me do this. Move that aside. All right. And let me get my pad up here. All right, so this is just a newsprint pad, nothing special. Newsprint is pretty cheap. It's awesome to sketch on because, you don't have to worry too much about it. My pencil case over here was stuck to the table. That's not good. All right, I'm going to get a really or darkish. What's this one? It's B. Yeah, I'll do this one. 4B. All right. So, shapes and perspectives. Let me back this camera up slightly. All right, we'll do it like that. That's fine. Shapes and perspective. So let me get a ruler also, so you can kind of see. I did a short video on Instagram once about perspective. Hopefully you can see this okay. All right, so when you're doing perspective, perspective is all about, and I'll do this a couple times. Perspective is all about, we'll call it a horizon line, so I'll make a horizon line, right? And I'll just do some simple shapes to start off with, and we'll try to get a little more complicated as we go. So if you were to take a cube, right? And when I say a cube, I just mean a square. And I'm going to do this sort of quickly. So I'll put one right here, actually I'll put one here in the center, right? So we'll say we're standing right in front of it, and there's the cube, right? Now here's the issue with perspective like this. So we can't see this side or this side because the lines, and I'll draw these kind of like dotted lines. So these dotted lines are, say, behind or on the side of the cube, and here's the back of the cube here, right? And you tell me if like this is in a shape that, like, if you're thinking about a different shape or whatever, right? So this is if we're looking at straight at a cube that's going back, you know, that's in perspective, right? So if we move the cube over to here, so we're standing, you know, right on the other side of this cube. We're not going to change where we're standing. We're still standing right here, right? So let's say the cube is over here. We're still standing here, but the cube is over here now. So if the cube's over here, right, what happens is these corners will go back to the to that point where we're standing on the horizon line. So these, and we'll do some dots so you can kind of see, go back that way, go back that way. And then this stays parallel here. So anything that's vertical stays vertical. Anything that's horizontal stays horizontal. Anything that goes backwards or forwards goes to a point on the horizon line. And then you've got points that you can't see because they're, you know, they're hidden, they're outside of the view. So back here stays horizontal, horizontal, vertical, 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 horizontal, 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 and then these four go back to the horizon line. Same thing over here, this one over here would be exactly the same, where these lines go back to the point, and everything vertical stays vertical, everything horizontal stays horizontal, right? So, and this is a really good study. You could do this kind of like make some boxes that are all the way around this. So if I put a box way down here beneath the horizon line, so this is on the horizon line. Beneath the horizon line, something different's going to happen. Here's the front of the box. There's our point still. We're still standing in the same spot. So all of these lines, this line here, this line here, this line here, go back to, and you could do it with a ruler, go back to, I got it pretty good actually. I like when I do things right. Go back to that point on the horizon, right? And everything vertical stays vertical, everything horizontal stays horizontal, right? And you can trace those back to that vanishing point. That's what it's called, the vanishing point. I was having a hard time with it. Something beneath it, you're going to see just the front and the top that goes back to the vanishing point. Something over here, you're going to see the front, you're going to see the side that goes back to the vanishing point, and you're going to see the top that goes back to the vanishing point. And then the same thing up at the top, anything up here, you'll see the front, and again, back to the vanishing point, back to the vanishing point. Horizontal stays horizontal, vertical stays vertical, over here. So you could easily kind of sketch out different, you know, all the different possibilities on one page like that, right? Now, so that's one point perspective. Now this works best with cubes, rectangles, things like that. It breaks down a little bit when you have something like a sphere or something, you know, like a sphere in is still just a circle. There's really no points to go back to the horizon line. This is more about shading to create that. And if you look back in my my videos, you'll see I did some paintings and drawings about, you know, shading and modeling objects so that they look three-dimensional, right? So circles don't work so well with perspective. It's really the size of the circle. Same thing with, say, a cone, right? So a cone, The difference with a cone is that, let's draw just a square on the horizon line. So this is like a flat something, right? So a cone, you'd have to, draw your base of the cone needs to fit on that piece there, and then you put the top of the cone is here, and then you connect it to the sides, and that's your shape right there. The difference is when you add the shading, the shading is where it's going to make it look more three-dimensional, but the angle of that base is important. So how much does that circle sit on the ground? Is it, let me get I've got something here to demonstrate with. Here we go. And I'll use the camera here. So if I hold this up, right, it's flat, right? As I move it down, you're going to see more of that top surface of that piece, right? So you need to change the way that oval is on the page. So the oval can tip more depending on how far beneath the horizon line it is, or it can tip upwards depending on how high above the horizon is. So that oval will change shape, right? So that's 1 point perspective. 2 point perspective is a little bit different. 2 point perspective is when you have a horizon line, right? And it works for things that are like, let's say you take this square. So 1 point perspective works for if you're drawing something like this, right? Where the object is flat up against the picture plane. But when you turn it, what do? And also it works well for, like, say this is a cityscape, so you can draw your buildings here, and this would be the side of the buildings, and you would have another building here, and maybe another building here, and another building, maybe it's taller here, and here's your street that goes up and down here. 2 point perspective, and it gets a little bit fuzzy on where you're, this is a little bit more advanced, but as far as where to put your points, but you can put your points anywhere, okay? So the idea is that you're standing somewhere in between these points. And same as above, if you draw a cube that's turned halfway, so we'll draw the edge of the cube first, right? And then the top goes to the horizon line, the bottom goes to the horizon line, and that stays vertical. Top goes to the horizon line, bottom goes to the horizon line, that stays vertical. And you could do that anywhere on the page. So but let's do one that's, say, here. So here's the corner of the cube, right? Goes toward the horizon line, goes towards the horizon line, goes towards the horizon line, right? And then the sides stay vertical, right? So towards the horizon line, and this one goes the opposite way, towards the horizon line. And you could do that anywhere on the page as long as you're creating a cube that is towards the horizon line, see? Top and bottom go towards the horizon line, and then the sides, you can make it really wide, so here's more of like a rectangular box. Towards the horizon line. Towards the horizon line there. I don't know. And Diablo Girl, hi. I was just doing a little lesson for my other friend here. Nice to see you. Anyways, so study comb. I hope that's helpful. And makes some sense. There are a gajillion lessons on perspective on YouTube and every other platform. So Look them up, check them out. And there's even 3-point perspective, and 3-point perspective gets a little more light if you're looking up at a building, straight up at a building, or you're looking down a building from the roof or something like that. I am good, thank you. I'm feeling much better. I just had to burp a second ago. Sorry, burps happen. I'm good. It took me, I had a cold, as you may remember, as you may remember, a couple weeks ago, I had to go to a wake for a friend of mine, for a family member of his, and whenever I go to funerals and stuff like that, there's a lot of shaking hands, and then I end up getting sick. So let me zoom in a little bit here. All right, I guess, well, let me go out one more so you can see the whole thing. So that's where we're at. We are painting. Hey, see you later, Steadycomb. Nice to see you. Diablo Girl, how are you? What is new? I hope you're feeling well with life's challenges you've got going on. All right, I'll switch my glasses again. So yeah, that there was a boy who was on here just a minute ago. Steadycomb, I guess, is what he goes by. I've got this here, but I don't really want to paint that yet. I'm just gonna all right, I'm just gonna do it the way that I should do it. Boy, this is like the exact same color. But I've got to do it. He was asking about perspective, so nothing new. Well, nothing new isn't necessarily a bad thing, right? I don't know if I have anything really new. It's still winter here. It's really 2 weeks of me doing a whole lot of nothing, really, which is unfortunate, but I don't know. You know, life is like that sometimes. I'm happy with my progress on this, though, other than just not feeling like painting last couple weeks. I hit it hard that weekend, 2 weeks ago, and then I end up not feeling good. And time is it? It was 12:30. Okay. I was worried that that lesson was going to take a long time, but it didn't take so much time. Yeah, today, let's see, it's a little warmer than that. It's actually above freezing for a change. It's 35 right now. Little heat wave we've had the last couple days, so it's been nice. A little snow melting, but from what I understand, the cold will return shortly. That's all right, though. It's weird when you take a break from painting. I'm having not a hard time. I think I'm having a hard time focusing. Because I did so well with it for a little while, and it's easy. It's too easy to lose focus. For me, anyways. I find it so easy to lose focus. This was supposed to be done. My goal was the end of January. I'll be lucky if I finish it by the end of February. The way that things are going, I don't know how to speed up. I feel like December through to March are very slow months. And all the other months fly by. Well, I'll add some. This is actually quite a bit darker, but I'm tempted just to paint the whole thing right now. No, because there's different tones. I try to do things to take shortcuts sometimes, and it bites me in the butt. And I am not a fan of getting bit in the butt. The things I say out loud are sometimes regretful. So let's see. Let me actually think back. To be honest, going to that week was, for me anyways, it was a good experience. I saw people that I haven't seen in many years, and I saw some close friends who I don't get together with often enough, which is always good, right? So I saw some very good buddies of mine who, we like to do things like play cards, and we don't get together enough. But I wanted a couple weeks to go by before I reached out to them. And I think that week kind of said, okay, well, it's time to get together. So that's good. What else? Not too much. I mean, work has been really busy lately too, so. Homeward Bound. Ah, Homeward Bound. I haven't heard that movie, and that's an old one. That was like in the 90s? 2000s maybe? I don't know. That's an old one. I don't know that I've ever seen it. I am a sucker for tearjerker movies, though. I mean, I don't know. I've got a problem, I think. I've got emotional issues. Because I can't handle certain types of scenes for some reason. Like the waterworks, just I can't handle it. Yeah, pet movies. Like one that got me, the stupid Disney movies. I hate them, but they're so good. Like Nemo, Finding Nemo. Boy, I cried after that one. I cried during it. That's one of those. God. Every once in a while, I'll watch a movie that's fun and, you know, pulls at your heartstrings, and I lose it. So I'm just scanning this line to see where there's any waviness. Try to fix it before I go too much further. This is the time to fix it while the paint is still wet. Hopefully I don't make a mistake. Like that. Say it and it's gonna happen. Yeah, well, I mean, you probably knew it's, it's a movie about animals. You know what got me one day? God, I'm so embarrassed by it. Watching these Instagram reels on like animals getting rescued from dog kennels and stuff, and they're so freaking excited to be around people, and I lost it one day. Just made it, and it wasn't even about being sad. It was about being happy, and that's what it is when something is so fundamentally good and joyous. That I don't know. There's something about it that, and I think animals, like they're the most innocent creatures, right? And they can't help it, so. Yeah, I lose it with animals. I don't have any animals, and maybe that's why, part of it, because they die and I get sad. All right, let me back up and look at that line. It looks a little thick right in there. Try to thin that out just a little bit. Yeah, yeah. But I get, you get caught in like I said, it's a happy thing. So I enjoy watching, animals being stupid animals and loving people. What did I watch? What did I see yesterday? I saw, and these are, oh God, I fall for these every time. There was a reel about it was a donkey, stupid donkey, and the caption was like when the donkey was reunited with the girl who raised it from birth, and the donkey remembered her and was trying to figure out how to like give her hugs, and that one didn't make me cry, but I thought about it a little bit. Animals can't they can't hold back their happiness, you know, and that's what I love seeing. And there was something that I saw recently that was like that kind of spoke to me about animals, and that you know, from the moment, you know, certain animals, not all animals, but from the moment you know, a fun, playful dog wakes up till the moment it goes to bed, you know, it is just happy to be alive, right? It's happy to be around people, happy when you feed it food, happy when you take it outside, happy when you come home from work. It can't hide its happiness. And I think that's kind of where people look at animals and say, that's what I want. That's what I want my life to be like. And I can't disagree with them. An animal life has got to be the best the best life there is, you know, like a dog or a cat life. I don't think cats feel the same way dogs do, though. They're different. But let's see, I've got about 10 minutes. What can I do here? All right, I wasn't going to do this, but I think I am now. Because I've only got 10 minutes. I might just go across and paint that. Yeah, I need a bigger brush, though. What do I got here? Is that too big? Yeah, that's too big. That's too big. I'm gonna have to go with a smaller one. I wish I had all the sizes, you know. Yeah, I'll go with this one. All right, I wasn't gonna do this, but it'll at least put the same tone on, and since, you know, given the colors that I'm using right now, it'll probably dry pretty quickly. So I'll be all right, I guess. Yeah, brush that off. So I will definitely, I will hope to finish this rail this weekend, maybe even tomorrow. Well, tomorrow's Valentine's Day, isn't it? Shoot. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe Sunday. Not that I'm doing anything crazy for Valentine's Day, but my wife and I will we'll make some fun food, and my older son, he's having a friend over. Which is kind of fun to see him do, you know. And then my younger son, he'll hang out with me and my wife. And we'll make food and watch some movies or something. Yeah, I think this is a good choice, just painting the whole thing. Then I don't have to worry about this color. since I've got it mixed, may as well put it on the canvas, right? Are you working on any artwork? I've not seen you share anything in some time. Oh, my head's gonna get in this shot. I can feel that camera burning the back of my head. Oh well, what are you gonna do? All right, I'm just gonna do it. Excellent. I would love to see your portrait, see what you're working on. So please do share. Sometimes I will browse other people's work online just to see who's doing what. A lot of it's just kind of same old. People trying to get clicks kind of crap. That's fine, but I enjoy seeing work from people I know much better. Okay, cool. Is there a theme, or is it just exploring mental health? Okay, all right. Depressed subject. Yeah. I did a series of self-portraits that were not so much, I wouldn't call them mental health related so much as exploring emotion. And I did these back in college, and they're like 4 foot tall, and I mean, I used myself as the subject. It's not really meant to be a self-portrait, more so than looking at emotion in people's faces and stuff. And so I did one that was very just kind of staring directly at the viewer. Another one that is screaming, and one that is, I guess you'd say, looking depressed, looking sad, looking down. Those were fun to do. Big canvases. I like working on big canvases. They're fun. I should raise this up a little bit. I'm sitting here trying to see beneath it. If I just raise it up a little bit, I'll be able to see beneath it, right? Hopefully you can still see. I think you can, yep. All right. How's that? Move back up and see what I'm looking at here. Guess that looks okay. It's hard to see that line here and there. I think that looks okay though. Like something's wobbly here. I don't know. Trying to see if I could fix it. If there's anything I can do to make it better. Maybe. I'm going to angle this forward right here. That way, maybe I can see the edge a little bit better. Oh, straight lines. I am tired of straight lines. Yeah, I love eyes of people. When I remember in high school, I used to draw in all my textbooks, and I loved drawing eyes. I always wondered who got those textbooks later, and if they saw my work. You know, as you moved from grade to grade, when I was growing up, you got somebody else's textbook, and usually their name was in it, and you could kind of see whose textbook you had from last year, from the year before. That was fun. I don't know what it was. Oh, God. I don't know what it was about drawing in textbooks. I'm messing up left and right here. But I loved drawing in textbooks. Put that over there. Fix those mistakes. All right. Where are they? Over here. All right, I think that looks okay. You tell me. Does it look all right to you? I think it looks pretty straight. I used to do a lot of portraits. I still enjoy the idea of them. I don't know, maybe it's a self-conscious thing. I don't know. I don't ask people if I can do their portraits. You know, like I feel like I used to ask people. All right, that's it. I'm done today. Take one more look, see where we're at. Back this up a little bit even, so you can kind of see it. Whoops, get that out of the way. Move back. There we go. Oh, too far back. There we go. That's what I wanted. All right, so that's where we are. Yeah, so that's it. I am going to do my best to not get sick between now and next week, so that I can get that rail finished, and then I can move on to other stuff, because I really want to finish this painting really, really bad. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to say goodbye for now, and I thank you so much for joining me as always. It's always nice to have someone to chat with while I paint. So thank you. Have a great weekend and happy painting. Good luck with your portrait. Can't wait to see it. Bye.